what we'll be talking about today is some innovative stuff done in Smithville ISD. And Smithville, like many places, has many challenges, like economically disadvantaged, kids at risk for dropping in school. So this kind of a program involving what can be done. So this kind of what we're trying to do is technology of good news, bad news. A lot of losers and a few winners. So the idea is it better be the winner side than the loser side. And so certain things have been just lost forever. So what the idea is to give students training and practical experience on state-of-the-art tools. And what we're doing here might not look at it, but truly is state-of-the-art of what can be done. So one of the things is it's a project-based learning class at Smithville High School. This actually started only 13 months ago, where Mr. Hansen managed to assemble the superintendent, the whole committee we've been in contact with at Smithville. And they said, this is worth doing. They said, yeah, they said that's worth doing. So it's been a steady, frustrating thing since then, but we're making forward progress. So what we're trying to do is career and technical education to prepare for their careers. And they're going to have to learn traditional skills like welding and woodwork and all that good stuff. They have to start off with that because it's baseline. That's valuable in itself. The world is hurting for skilled workers. You can graduate from high school with knowing American history and Algebra 1. And that's great, but it doesn't follow it exactly prepares you for a real career. As a minimum, if you take this kind of thing, you're going to learn something useful. If I was a student, even if I was college bound, I would have given my right arm to take a class like this, just because of what I could learn. So, and then one of the things too is Lance and his woodshop colleague actually make real stuff for real customers. And for example, one of the things he made for the Rotary Club is he made the wood sign, the meeting here. Of course, he makes these, but he makes customer projects for almost any purpose. If you need a 20-foot farm gate, with a picture of you and your dog, they can do that. So that's kind of another thing, and the price is right because Mr. Hansen is free. The students are even freer. So but trust me, it'll be a good deal. So anyhow, guest list. Step one, what I'd like to do is have the guests come up here and have a picture. So step one is the honor guest, which is Mr. Lance Hansen. His colleague is Brian Moby in building trades, so kind of a complimentary set. But it's the idea is to expand other things. The superintendent could not make it here. Mr. Edwards could not make it here. Next person is Paul Smith. Without the support of management of the organization, you're doomed. And this does not fit into everyone's cup of tea. It's not exactly into the normal program. Let's say we don't care about that. And they managed to scare up a bit of funds. To actually do this is goes back just like 13 months. He said, go forth and do. So the rest is history. And then we have some Smithville High School students, like Hannah Busick.
Amen.
The purpose of the program is to make students, such as Hannah, prepare for the real world. So what we're looking for is a few good people, students who are motivated, competent, and are willing to learn. So that's one of these. And one of the other things is support. So that's where we have Hannah's mother.
Hey.
The other thing that, going back to how this works, is we have some free labor. We have Roy Mast. Roy, where are you?
Right there.
Hiding over here.
Okay. Roy Mast and I are the engineers of this club.
Come on out this way, Roy. Come on down the side of the table.
Yeah, so we
He's
do.
hiding over there.
Okay.
Unsuccessful.
So what we do is, like this controller, which you see here, it's actually state-of-the-art stuff. It might look pretty elementary, state-of-the-art stuff, and that makes it possible to make a state-of-the-art computer controller. But the way this works is with stepper motors. The way this works, and then the stepper motors drive the access line, and they have this thing. So the brains of this is in there. So Roy and another partner in this deal is part of the process. So we're getting a really good deal with Roy and Dave, and of course me. Rod Caulfield, again, part of the deal is the way this works out is in partnerships with other people. Like there's an RPK Industries who has donated materials for this project. So again, and then there's Blue Bond Electric. Do we have any representative Blue Bond Electric here? Yes, can we get two representatives Blue Bond Electric?
We actually have another, but she's a photographer.
She came
I
out.
didn't have anything to do with you getting elected.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's the deal. One of the things is computers are very controversial things in any government organization, school is a government organization. So what we did is we got a really good deal. It's a win-win for all concerned. So Mr. Bluebonnet said, we change our computers every few years, and we could sell them as quote surplus, but we'll give you a good deal. So what we did is, or our stick is, we'd like this. So like a year and a half ago, we went to Johnny's as we need a few computers. He came through, and of course now a few months ago, thank you, we've done in the past, Mr. Sanders, now we need some more. So he just delivered today 4 more, and the purpose is be for CAD workstations. So that's kind of the deal. Can we get a picture in that little short video? Let us get out. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, David Treadwell, how did I miss
Yeah,
that?
and Dave Stilson.
David's not here.
I know.
Oh, I forgot, I'm somehow don't know how you missed you. David Treadwell has the distinction of being the most generous benefactor.
Okay, you guys are gonna have to get closer.
Yeah.
Yes, come this way.
You need to set that.
No, you don't do that. Norman, you gotta get this.
You're on, you move in
I'm
and
gonna
stop
shut this
moving
down.
away.
I'm going to shut this down.
If we all turn and, suck our guts in,
There's a door on.
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
afraid it shuts
You're
down.
gonna,
Oh, okay.
All right, let's get one picture here. Scroll this way.
you got, no, I want you to go that
You
way.
go that way, honey.
You're turning,
Well, we can be able to live
There
here.
you go. That's it.
everybody turn a shoulder towards your.
Yeah.
It's already done. Cheese.
And a
You
shoulder
have to be real still, there's not a whole lot of work. Letter's taking a long time.
Okay, good.
Flashes.
I don't think it flies.
Okay, good enough.
Is that enough?
What we're going to do is, we have a professor. Yes, please, you can go take your place. Today is another guest, is my sweetie, without whose support this project would not be possible.
Hey,
She is also an official videographer. So what we do is she's going to record this meeting, and she's going to post it to YouTube, and life is good. So we shall see how that all goes. Again, we're trying to increase awareness. So basically, they do good stuff. So what we have is, this is a CNC 4x8 table. Lance didn't want to bring that thing here, it weighs 10,000 billion tons. He did take us to Houston in a cattle trailer, and you believe it survived one, in a cattle trailer all the way to Houston. He set it up there, and life was good. Not much work involved, right, Lance? A lot of work. A lot of work. Stay corrected. But they actually won a blue ribbon.
Got a pretty good vibration test.
So, yeah, big vibration test. So they had, it was kind of a zoo there at Houston. But by God, they won. And they were competing with people which obviously have fancier resources than we do. For those who are unfamiliar with Bastrop County, we're not Lakeway. So anyhow, that's the deal, is what we can do. So one of the things is, what the benefactors are saying is vertical, and to get you in the picture too. Sorry.
We're good.
Okay, what we did is, I guess like a month or two ago, at a board meeting, we said, this is working out good at the Rotary Club, at the high school, and, success built upon success. So they said, we have $400, they can get a CNC laser cutter, and so that worked out pretty good. So we donated, so if you're wondering what happened to that $400, this is what it is. And part of the deal is to appeal to different students. 3D printers, for example, are great, but they take a long time. What we did is at the career day at Smithville High School in the spring, the hit of the thing was our booth, and I have a Rotary stuff here, and it was Roy. And he had people multiple deep, and he was producing these name tags like this, like hotcakes. You can produce these, you engrave them and cut them out, and life is good. So he was the head of the parade. And so next year, we're going to do even better. So that's kind of the deal. This is one of the slides too, this is the McDonald's kiosk. So if you were thinking about having McDonald's as your career, then even McDonald's is going to technology. So again, there's winners and losers. Cost effective. So the idea is the benefit is students receive training and hands-on experience with state-of-the-art technology. And they're also producing products for external customers. Again, so if you have a need, we get effective use of volunteers, such as Roy and myself. Our rates are very favorable. And now David Treadwell is, so we get good use of volunteers who have many years of experience. And one of the beauties too is we have, Roy and I and others have no profit motive. We have no desire. So like this design is primarily Roy's and mine. So it can be replicated most anywhere. And then we have materials and services donated by people and businesses. So one example is Bluebonnet. They just delivered 3 more computers today. And they're going to be used as part of this to set up a CAD computer design laboratory at the high school. So, you know, because all the brains, the creative aspect of this stuff is in the computer design. Computer manufacturing, you have another computer like this one, which communicates with things, which drives stepper motors. But the creative stuff in the CAD, and you should decide you want to produce something in metal or plastic or wood, or even pancakes. So it reduces cost. Like the machine we're making is probably like a third or a fourth of the cost because, again, we have no profit motive and we have all this free labor. And what we do is we steal ideas. So what we've done is we've gone to various companies with CNC machines like the Foundry and other places and say, this is how they do it. We take pictures, we take notes, and we plagiarize the basic concept, you know, how to do rack and pinion and stuff. So that makes it, it's better for students, you know, because again, they can appeal to all sorts of stuff. For example, a student like Hannah wanted to learn what she can learn the CAD stuff, and she's actually set up CAD on her computer at home. So one of the goals is when she shows up in a couple of weeks to high school, she has at least a tad of experience with it, and then from there, life is good. And increasing flexibility. For example, one of the learning experiences from this is cool, but it produces things that are this big. So what we do is, this started off as a plasma cutter, and we use the plasma cutter at Lance's shop to make the CNC router, which is going to go to the wood shop. And this is a prototype of the whole thing, so it's not terribly elegant. But one of the next things we want to do is add a laser cutter head to one of these things, because again, laser cutters are cool. And you want to appeal to people and they produce fast results because students have finite attention spans, in case you didn't know that. And if you can produce results in 15 seconds, that's better. They'll give you your 3D print. I mean, we have a 3D printer too. But the interesting thing is, from an attention span standpoint, it's kind of cool. So that's, you know, flexibility. So we can do like 4-axis and 5-axis and do routers, which is all this kind of stuff. So it's, again, it's project-based learning, so things can keep growing forever. The idea is this is a never-ending project. Well, if something goes wrong, this should be here, and then until Mr. Hansen gets disgusted and throws in the towel, we're gonna truck on. So upcoming plans, things are working pretty good. So our thing is to build lessons learned accomplishments in the upcoming school year events, such as a livestock show in San Antonio or Houston or other events, which have worked out very fine. And again, there's a finite budget, but it's worked out good in the past. One of the things too is increase the number of students with skilled trades. Skilled trade can be a sweet spot. Learning this stuff is puts you in the 2% category. If you can say you know Fusion 360 or AutoCAD, that will put you in a very small club. And so when they graduate from Mr. Hansen's thing, assuming they were motivated students, that will automatically put them in good stead for employers. One of the things is they produce customs products for school and external customers. And a question for you all is, what do you need? Mr. Hansen and his colleague are capable of a lot of stuff. Get with him separately. And one of the things, you know, their volunteers, opportunities for us is, you know, kids don't know soft skills. How do you interact with customers? They think they're going to make a living doing this, and they look at your foot all the time. So an example is, how do you market this kind of stuff, given they can produce products, so that's not. And then one of our things is, again, this design is ours, And so we're prepared, Smithville's prepared. Okay, we'll take the lessons learned from this kind of stuff, and we can give it to BISD. We've already talked with the CTE director and other people there. Bastrop, frankly, is just a bit more bureaucratic and more into that program of record. But if we can show that this is not some one-fourth baked idea, and we move past the half-baked idea process, that they can use it to lead the horse to water. I was talking with Rick. Can you envision this being useful as help? And another option is a Rotary Club project, where what we look at there is some finances to build what we do and some volunteers. So I think that's it. So with that, Lance, over to you.
Okay. I want to just start out with a big thank you to all of our donors, everybody that's been mentioned and was in the picture. It's been a neat year project. It has been a real learning experience for a lot of people, myself included. I came on board as the teacher here, and I'm not sure I wasn't the biggest student out of the whole bunch. Just because a lot of the kids have an interest in the computer world or gaming and all that kind of stuff, so they learn a lot of this stuff maybe quicker than I do. And then it's a process that we go through, but I've had to learn a lot as I went. Learned a lot about working. I thought I knew after about 24 years of working with kids at Smithville High School, I thought I knew a lot. But I found out some things even last year in dealing with our kids. When you're working with kids, you gotta, sometimes what you think ought to motivate them and ought to be their thing that they're most excited about sometimes isn't. You gotta kind of move them around and find out where that student has his place. Not all of them want to know about computers. Some of them are my solid welding kids, and they go there and they love being, show me what you want welded and want put together. I'll do it. And then there's the others that they want to put together more technical type work. And we have a need, and we're working toward the deal of getting to be better able to do real precise, accurate work. Mr. Treadwell, thank you for the donation of the smithing machine. I think that's going to really help with some of our accuracy and being able to do some other things that we choose to do. But as we go through this, now in deference to being able to do some of the things, we've been running the machines up here, letting them go through some of the software. We are not actually cutting or burning anything in here. One, we don't want chips thrown all over the room, and the other thing is we don't want the smoke from the laser. The laser creates, even on this birch wood, creates quite a bit of smoke. In this small room, I think it would be uncomfortable and unbearable. We'll have it, when we set it up, we'll set it up in front of our exhaust system there at the school, and it'll be very, very useful, very safe. But I don't think that's something we want to do here. Y'all have seen products. We have it labeled with a label on here telling where it came from, so all the kids who use it will know that it was donated by the Rotary Club. Would greatly appreciate that. Now this machine over here, we have it set up, and what we've got on here is a drawing of a longhorn that somebody did. We have used it for receiver hitches on. We cut it out of steel. In this case, we're going to run it on. We would normally use this router to cut it in wood, and we've done some of that, but at this time, without throwing chips, we want to be able to just go through. We'll cycle it through, and what it'll do is it'll trace. We have traced it up here. Our software just timed out, so I'm not going to take time to reset. If you can, that would be great.
They could have brought the plasma torch too, but that would be even worse.
So, some of the things that we are able to do though, besides the name tags that we've done, We also found out, I had a question once we got the laser. I said, what all products can we cut? And on the description, it talked about being able to do wood, acrylics, all of those things. And I said, I don't see it on there, but wonder what it could do with leather. And I don't know, maybe that's the agriculture background in me, but we did some leather cutouts. Here,
Who would like a genuine key fob? Some are FFA.
FFA.
FFA and Rotary. But anyone like a key fob?
Sure.
Come on, man. Tiffany, come around.
Man, just they've done it next
Norman County.
Hey, red marker, loosely tabled to a drill bit. Gives you a quick one.
Some of the products that we've done, this was a cutout out of a fire pit we built. We built some fire pits, and what this was a star that was in the side of one, and this was dropped, was just going to be throwaway, so I picked it up and I said, somewhere somebody will want a star welded onto something. I think I've already used the other one that was the match to it, but people come in wanting different things, and that's one of the nice things about a lot of this CNC is we're able to do very customized work that we wouldn't have been able to do years ago. It's really helped us with a lot of our projects. This past year I had a student who built a trailer for hauling swine, and he wanted a tailgate that folded down, had a good surface for animals to walk up, and so we took a full sheet of 1/4-inch plate and laid it down on our plasma table, and we cut slots in it so he had a slotted floor that the pigs could walk up on the ramp, and it would fold up easy. When he was driving, the air would go through. So it's about thinking, and I guess that's one of the things I like about my job the most is that if you can get the kids motivated, they come up with a lot of ability to problem solve. And when they're problem solving, they're a lot more fun to work with. The students that are problem solvers are real excited about what they're doing something for themselves or something they can be proud of and deliver to a customer. It becomes a real fun, it's a privilege to do what I do in that regard, because these students, not all of them have that much interest, but if they get somebody that ties in with them and says, hey, I would like for you to build this for me. I'd like for you to work with me on this project. And they tie into it, they do a real good job, and they learn on the way. Sometimes they don't realize what skill they're learning. They may think they're learning welding, but they're learning some customer service, they're learning some relationship building, and those kinds of things that are just as important in the real world as being able to weld, or even more important, those soft skills that will get them in the door. And what I always tell a bunch of my students is, as we go through, you may think your plan may be to go to college, and you may be going to do something else, engineering, whatever line of work you choose to be in. But when you, at the end of the day, whatever skill you get while you're here might be what helps you pay your way through, or maybe something that you end up falling back to. Maybe you have a full career doing what you intended to go to college for, and then when you get through, you want to do it as a hobby. So there's all kinds of reasons for being there. It doesn't have to be the only reason is to get a job. Sometimes in career and technical education, we get focused on that. That is where we're supposed to be, but it's not the only reason that kids come to us. Sometimes they end up there because of a counseling situation. That was where they could fit the schedule best. That's okay. You don't have to be here because that's what you think you're going to do for a living. You may learn something that's a good side, an avocation. So it's a lot of fun experiences, a lot of things can build off of that. one of the things that I've seen from especially the laser, y'all saw the picture of Career Day. Since that day, I've seen a jump in our recruitment in our programs. The kids saw it was a chance for them to go over there, see something that they could eventually use that was doing something they were interested in. And that's another benefit to this is the recruitment that it helps us do with our students, recruiting new students. And that's probably one of the things that I'm going to try and use as we start talking to students in the fall about joining our FFA program. Some of y'all received might have gotten some of those key fobs that have the FFA emblem on them. We are trying to build our FFA chapter. We've got a good chapter. Hannah's one of our officers. And one of the things that we want to do is increase our enrollment amongst the freshmen. A lot of the older students know what we're about. But as freshmen come in, they're not aware of what we have, what our organization does. And so what we do with them is we do a recruiting in the fall. And what we're probably going to do is make some little things using the laser that we can pass out to get them motivated to, what are you interested in? Are you interested in a steer or a hog? You know, if you go back to the old deal, cows, sows, and plows that FFA is all about, we may have to do that, but we may have some of them that say, no, I want to be a welder. Okay, we'll cut you a little deal with a welder on it. All those graphics are available and easy to put on to things like this to do things that kids will be excited about. And if we can do that, sell them on the program, get them involved, we do things for kids and for our school and for the whole community. Because it's all about our community working together, all of our communities. Any questions?
Anyone that's just seeing this project, this stuff is going to be here for a while. Afterwards, you want to see this, or if you want to talk with Mr. Hanson about, I could use a wetsuit, made of metal, plastic, wood, or leather. That can be arranged. And we're trying to under the what's next, so I'm going to expand upon what we've done. And again, kind of the key is partnerships with our organizations, such as Rotary.
Okay.
I think the vinyl cover.
Yeah, the vinyl cutter I didn't talk about. This we've gained the use of. This belongs to Dave Stilson, and he has used it on our machine that we took to Houston, the 4x8 router table. We needed a little bit of color, a little pop on it, and he printed us up some Tiger tees, and we put with this and put vinyl, stuck on vinyl Tiger tees on the ends of it to give it a little branding, tied it with our school, and made it a little more eye attractive than just a black router table. So that was a neat deal. Along with this and this project, Dave also did some used his router table that he built to do some cutouts.
Pass that around. I think it's cute.
Dave has a degree in industrial design. He just likes to play.
Yeah.
This is just Dave's play.
Well, that thing is made by a combination of technologies.
Requires no magnets.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that it should be said that, if I'm not mistaken, we just had the space guys use a 3D printer to create a wrench that guys down on the ground sent the plans for, and they printed it out to correct something, fix something on the
Space station.
space station that they didn't have the tools for. And the movie industry is currently, if they don't want to look like CGI, then they're using laser applications and or 3D printing applications to create backgrounds that are three-dimensional, so that they can provide backgrounds for movies that look like the real thing rather than a computer-generated pixel.
Pixelated.
Yeah.
That's true.
So the sky's the limit. I mean,
Yes, it is.
How many many students do you have?
This next year, I'm going to have about, in my classes alone, not counting the other ag teacher that works with me, I will have about 30 freshmen. And then as we go up, sophomores, there's probably going to be another 20. And then seniors get down around 10. Juniors about 15, and then about 10 on the senior level, somewhere in that range. So what is that?
75.
About 75 total students. We have tried to keep close to 15 per class. That is a good size for when we're working out in the shop with hazardous type equipment. Some of this becomes a little bit, we need a little bit closer supervision. I understand, that I'm fortunate to be there, that some of our math, science, and English teachers have to deal with a lot larger classes, but due to the hazards that we have, we try and keep that as a safety caution. Yes, sir.
But you've got about 500 kids in high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's 15% or something of the student body.
Yes, sir. And then we have the building trades classes. Mr. Murby has probably an equal number to that in his classes. So, and then we have Mr. Shoddy this year will be taking our animal science related courses in agriculture and having approximately that same number. So amongst all the vocational part that's in our part of the world, we also have a culinary arts program and a DECA marketing program that Mr. Burns takes care of. So we try and keep most of our kids involved in some kind of career and technology education program. Any other questions?
Do you have any words of wisdom, Paul?
I just want to say thank you, primarily. Thank you for giving our kids a chance to work with technology that is currently being used, that is the future. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all the donations and what you do for us. Project-based learning is a big key word in education today. And it is what life is about, is learning to solve problems and to make things. And a company, I worked the corporate world for many years. They didn't care how much you know. They just wanted to know if you could solve their problems and make them money. And what you're going to do with this stuff and with our ag department and our CTE department as a whole is you're giving our kids a competitive edge to go out in the marketplace and to make a difference in their lives and in their families' lives so that they can give back to the communities just like you're giving now. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it.
Once you see this stuff in use and see the software.
If y'all want to come up and look,
Well, we'll do the closing stuff.
okay.
Does anyone have more questions? One of the things I've learned in this course project is one of the things they have to put in my performance standard is avoid assaulting any students in the course of school year. Because it turns out not all students are highly motivated and disciplined. So again, kudos to teachers in general. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.